Chat. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good day, good night, good evening, you know, whatever time it is for you. We're gonna be a minute. Cause Kendra has not replied to me. I don't know what is going on, but I don't want to start without Kinders. So we're gonna give her a minute. While we wait and see what happened. Dear guy hit by a truck. I would like to not go solo, but I will go solo if necessary. You know what I mean? In the spirit of tonight's topic, oh. Thank you, Red Hair Cross. She's eating a hunter in the woods. While we wait for Kinders, I have a thing. Kendra chilling, babysitting Bambi. Thank you, Start Now. You mention often your illiteracy, but it is a genuine illness or just unfettered laziness to read books. If it's the latter, I'll pay you $5 to read. It is sheer laziness. Reading takes a lot of time, and I am lazy as fuck. But yeah, I don't know what's, I don't know where Kendra is. I need to pop out my chat. She was talking to me earlier, so I know she was here. Just don't know, you know, where. But here, really quick. I'd like to keep you guys updated on the goings-on of my favorite game. So look, new Pow World. New Pow World preview. So fun ones, we've got this cutie right here in the corner. Be very excited for that one. And then I think this is a new one up here in the background, this big dragon looking motherfucker. We've got this big fella here, although we saw him in a previous preview, and we've got this cute little doggy boy, these cute little doggy boys right here. This one in the front here has actually been shown in a comic they've done. So she's cute. And then we've got this guy in the background. Don't know who he is, but he looks cool. See Lum Lum stream today. She wants to do a long Power World stream for her birthday. I could send her a message. Also, Start Now, I did not miss the other super chat. I already got it. Maybe I don't think you heard me. Maybe. It is not the Harvest World Pal World game. This is Pal World 1.0. And the one I'm most excited for is... Let me see if I can zoom in on it really close. I might have to do the full screen capture to see it better. So, if you go... way back here in the corner, these two little guys, absolutely adorable. I want them so bad. Look at them, they're adorable. And they're just like swimming around with each other. Whee! Oh, they're so cute, I want them. So adorable. But yeah, I'm excited for Pal World 1.0. We don't have the full thing yet, the full patch notes. We might not have it till the day of, but we'll see. A 2 in queue. I'm hoping they're a double one, but I don't think they will be. We'll see though. We'll see. But as they say here, they're basically redoing a lot of the world itself, which is where all these structures and stuff are coming from. So that'll be fun. And thank you, Internet Zen. Mazel tov, being part of Bestiary Mizu. Thank you, thank you. For people who don't know or did not get to see my stream the other day, let me hide this. Me, my friends, and somebody else are all in a new group now called Bestiary. I think it's a pretty good idea, personally. But we'll see where it goes. I think it'll be fine. We have deeply upset several people. I have everyone's favorite guy, Floki, calling me a pedophile now. Because of something I said happened when I was younger, but like, okay, buddy, keep going. Nines is not in our group. She's not in our circle. He is, yeah, Floki posted a tweet like a little bit ago calling me a pedophile. He is hard coping. Who with is pretending they don't know who I am. A couple other people are just pretending like I don't exist, and they're trying to call out everybody else. It's been fun. How many Doros and Yippies are in Bestiary? All the Yippies, I don't know about Doros. I know apparently the Yippies don't like the Doros. Let me see if I can pop this up. Videos. So, this is a video we might, or this is a person we might cover a couple times, like a couple different videos on. I don't know for sure, but we'll think about it. Because he seems to do like kind of general anime or Japan like culture stuff. But I don't know. From what I've seen of this video that we're going to cover today, Why Japan is Obsessed with Lollies, a Disturbing Reality, it's bad. His research is tenuous at best. There's also some stuff he shows that, like, what's wild to me, right, is this video is from 15 hours ago. The Wikipedia article he quotes is already different. It has already been edited, so I don't know what happened there. Which, yes, he does quote a Wikipedia article at one point. And you can see, like, some of the stuff he says in here is just weird. Like, why Japan is terrified of schoolgirls, a gendered panic. Why Japan exploits these girls, a dangerous industry, and it says host clubs. Like, it's somebody that sees stuff that is kind of common all over the world and is like, this is something that Japan alone has done. Like, nobody else has done this but Japan. Why Japan hated these kids, rebellious generation. Why Japan fears these girls. Is this all just women? Japan's obsessions with anime girls and emotional economy. It's like all just him talking about women in Japan. Japan's parasocial love problem. Hi, there you are.
I woke up.
Why anime feels empty now. A stolen art style. What the fuck are you smoking? What is this?
Huh?
What happened to some of these videos? Because, like, look, Why Japan is Anti-God has 200,000 views. Why Anime Feels Empty Now has 9,000. Japan's Parasocial Love Problem has 20,000. And then with Why Japan Punishes Individuality is back up to 200,000. These numbers are all over the... Exploring Japan's Darkest Subculture, 8,000. Why Japan Exploits These Girls, 12,000. How Japan Made Trauma Fashionable, 2,000. Like, the numbers are all over the place with his videos.
I've never heard of this guy.
Muxedo Task.
No, I've never heard of them.
You know
also,
what?
why is he using that one guy from... Like, I know he does other things, but why is he using the guy from Punch Punch Forever?
You know what really annoys me, though, about his video?
What?
His avatar is from Code Vein. This is his custom character in Code Vein, and it kind of annoys the shit out of me that he's using Code Vein for his garbage.
I'm assuming Code Vein is technically the fan service game, but not the fan service game, but fan service game.
It's fan servicey enough. I sent you the watch together, by the way, and you can join the VTube studio whenever.
Yes, I am so sorry.
I was telling Chad, like, I'm sending Kendra messages and she's not replying.
I, like, woke up and then I just remember just sitting there.
Yeah. So if you want, after we do this video, we could go look at one of his others. Because he has a lot on here that I'm like, I feel like I'm probably gonna hate this.
This seems about right.
He has one called Freerin and Dungeon Meshi, the superior fantasy anime.
Oh my gosh. People always try and pit the good stuff against each other. That's why they are that's why they're corny.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm already connected.
What is... So he has one from 2 years ago called How Anime Fight Scenes Elevate Storytelling. 2,000 viewers. He has one just after that called Anime YouTuber Turned Killer. How this anime YouTuber tragically ended his career. It's got 7,000 views. In between that, he's got Japan's obsession with high school anime, a sad reality. Almost 900,000. Like, these are... His channel is bizarre numbers. Like, it's all over the place constantly. And I'm just looking through them and I'm so confused about, like, how you're how your videos end up like so all over the place like this.
It's true.
Thank you, Internet Zen. Inhales. I smell male feminist. Also, Japan loves killing God. Bro doesn't understand how Shintoism works at all. Killing God does not equal killing Jesus. I don't think
Also,
it's
I'm
killing
gonna skip this
God. He says why Japan is anti-God, a faithless society. Which they're,
what is it, guys?
they're not, but
Also,
okay.
I'm saying this right now. Do not watch his video on the exploitation of the host club industry. Go to Nigiri Green's video. Was it? I'm so waking up. Just go to Nil Nigiri's video, because that video is actually really good and actually is like, yeah, no, just straight up, the industry knows, and even the girls understand and aren't like mostly exploited. Everybody knows what they're doing. There's bad people, but like you can't really shame an industry where everybody's like self-aware.
This is kind of like saying, like, I got hired at the Playboy Mansion and they made me get naked. It's kind of like, we know what you're doing. Thank you earlier, by the way, from Random Boy 20. Says, what are you scared of, a little four-letter word? Also, Wolfsbane, Kendra had one of those exhaustion naps where it's a good sleep, but you have no idea where you are and what you did or supposed to be doing.
That's funny, because I did that. I literally woke up, went to sleep, woke up, and then went back to sleep, and then I just sat there.
And then Wolfsbane sent another one that said Japan usually kills off Old Testament vengeful God. I mean, fair.
Yes.
But Kenders, are you ready to explore this video?
Yes, I am.
What if I told you I have actually watched this one before stream?
Oh, that means we're gonna get deep inside. We're gonna get deep, Mizu. We're gonna get wow. We can really go in depth about why this video was trash. Outside of this is bad.
Yeah. So I will tell people the first part of the video is not bad necessarily. He doesn't fully understand the history he's trying to teach people about, but it's not. The mood is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's technically correct. He just gets like some of the factual information wrong.
So basically, someone who looked over what other smarter people who actually may know Japanese did, and then he's like, I can do that. No, you can't.
Yes. So here, we'll start.
If you watch anime long enough, you know that some people have called it problematic. Like how the harem anime genre is actually misogynistic, the medium actively sexualizing high school students, or how Americans are portrayed. I don't think it's patriotic enough. We can do better, boys! But one trope in anime that gets people online really talking is that of the lolly. No other trope in anime or manga can get people on Twitter arguing more than a character that looks like this.
I will say I appreciate the tacit admission that Rebecca is a lolly by showing the scene of her.
Yes. Also, that's wrong. That's the tsundere.
Yeah.
Because everybody keeps arguing about if she's abusive or not.
Some people say that it attracts a certain demographic, other people say that it's not real and that it's not a big deal. But regardless of all of that, the trope has been amazing.
He said, some people say it's not real. What is not real? What people are you talking about? I don't think I've ever heard somebody say lollies aren't real. They just like debate at what point a character is a lolly.
I've seen the argument of they are not real. The problem is it's like, guys.
Oh, he might mean that way, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, they're not real because it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, this does not affect me, and I'm just gonna go watch more anime after this.
Yeah.
Stay in Japanese anime, manga.
By the way, chat says, of course, it's got to be Obama. To be fair, basically, not every president, but there are multiple presidents in Baki. I believe there is Obama, Trump, and Bush in Baki. And it's because the guy, what's his name? It's Yujiro Hanma, I think.
The guy, what is it? You're talking about the fighter in Baki, right?
No, oh, is that the fighter's name?
Yeah, Yujiro Hanma. So what is so like? Because like wait, no, you explain it. Sorry.
So is Yujiro Hanma the little guy, and is Baki actually the big like fuck off guy?
No. Yujiro Hanma is like his dad, the big guy.
Yeah, that's
and
what I thought.
The little guy is Baki. And so the thing is like in Baki, Yujiro Hanma has to make a pact with the world government, with like every government, and of course the United States, because it shows like that he's superior and even stronger than the United States. And the thing is, the author does this every single time like a new president goes in office. So you got Obama, you've got Bush, you got Trump, you even have a Hillary. We don't talk about the Hillary panel, though.
But yeah, Yujiro Hanma in Baki is supposed to be like this, literally the superior male to the entire world.
Yep.
So people showed like a scene of him like intimidating Trump, and it's like, no, it's not an anti-Trump thing. He literally does it to every president. Even like I believe there's scenes with him and the Japanese prime minister at the time as well. It's just what Baki is. If anything, it's probably more of a like semi-anti-government stance than anything.
Yeah, I would say that Biden is there because he does do it with every president. It's just that the Trump one is like the more common one that people know about, because the guy who the author of Baki just doesn't like Trump. But like, it's also really funny how he draws everybody. Again, nobody wants to talk about the Hillary panel. This is not an isolated incident.
Yeah.
And games since forever. As someone who's been watching anime since high school, it's actually harder to find stories without a lolly type character in it. And because of that, anime, and by extension otakus, have garnered a bit of a reputation for being weird in that way. But what if I told you that just because it's everywhere in anime and manga, it doesn't mean it's actually well liked, even by the people.
So you can already hear where our cope is gonna go immediately. Just because they put it in everything doesn't mean people actually like it.
Not only that, but imagine literally having a doujinshi. I'm pretty sure that video was of Comic-Cat, and you had Sakura Miko, one of the biggest girls in Hololive. She's not the biggest, but she is one of the biggest. But remember, Hololive also had Rushia, who really was a lolly type character, and it's like she was one of the most popular girls in Hololive, and it's like, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like mega cope. It's like, yeah, nobody likes lolly characters. What?
Like, I would have understood this argument more of, because like, again, you look more at like a lot of popular lollies out there. Most of the popular ones are the 1,000-year-old lolly trope, or are the adults that actually are adult lollies characters. And this guy is just, what is it? Yeah. No, I'm thinking of Opie Lolly. Yeah, no, Lolly Baba, yeah. And it's just like every most popular lolly that is mainstream is an adult character, and you still get mad about that. So it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. If here's the thing, you're saying I'm wrong. For the longest time, adult lollies were like the most popular. Only stuff like Kana came was popular more recently. Like, she's probably she's like the first, like, quote unquote, underage lolly in universe that actually got popular. And she deserves it.
People that made it. That's right, even the Japanese don't like this trope, as much as some people on the internet tell you that it's somehow normal over there. And it's all because.
As much as people tell you it's somehow normal, they hate it. By the way, that's why they include it in everything, because they hate it. It's like,
he's not going to bring up the Vice video, is he? That's what
I will tell you this. He's actually going to bring up something we've already talked about before. Which marks twice I have heard somebody bring up this article.
Oh, no.
Because of a Japanese serial killer. So
no!
Also, yes, we are going to talk about the otaku murderer.
Oh my gosh, please don't. Oh my god. Every single time they talk about the otaku murder, they always get it wrong. And they also conveniently leave out the fact that that brother was into so many slasher films and tried to get out of trouble by saying, the rat man told me to do it.
Yeah. Bringing up the otaku killer to say that Japan hates anime is the same level as bringing up Junko to say that Japan is a deeply dangerous country.
I would also say it's like, what is it? Bringing up the otaku killer about like why something is hot is like bad is again like also bringing up the GTA stuff. These people were already mentally disturbed. You look in the guy's history. What is it? He had a bad childhood. He just was not mentally there. And it's like, of course he's not mentally there. That's why he killed those kids. And it's disturbing. But they only blame the anime stuff because anime was already stigmatized because nerd culture was only accepted, get this, more recently.
What gives, right? Why is the lolly trope and genre a thing? How did it get started? And why do they portray it in the way that they do?
And well, the answer to that is a lot more complicated.
Why did you put Eris there? Eris isn't a lolly.
Also, I'm confused about why he wears a mask in his videos.
I'm assuming he's doing it to like kind of be cool, but the thing is like if you're gonna be cool, at least have the right opinion.
Also, what do you think of the title for this section, the Lolly Industrial Complex?
In a very somebody steal this title and make it into something even funnier and cooler. In fact, make a manga about this.
The Lolly Industrial Complex.
I would read that.
Okay, you played way too much of that. We're gonna get copyright claim to shit after this stream.
Like it's ooey, it's ooey. We might be able to get a pass.
I'm getting copyright claimed on that.
Now, I want you to forget for a moment how weird the lolly trope and genre can be sometimes, and purely look at it as a medium of fiction. Hard to do when you got scenes like this, but just try. Because while the trope
I can't even see what the scene is.
Yeah. It doesn't even explain what the scene is. It's just completely censored.
It's like ignore that this scene is like this. Like here's the thing: if it could have been a clip of Monogatari, I still wouldn't agree with you. But I could at least understand, since the whole point is that Araragi is just a degenerate.
Chat says he's trying to imitate Tuxedo Mask.
Well, he's not.
Which is why he's backwards. He's Muxedo Task.
Put on the suit, or put on a different version of the suit, bro. Go.
And thank you, Internet Zen. Are lollies for everyone? No, I'm indifferent to them. But I recognize they're a trope in anime and pop up in unexpected spots. Kana from Inuyasha to say that lollies aren't well liked is mega cope.
Yeah.
Have some negative connotations today, it actually kind of started with fairly innocent beginnings. Emphasis.
By the way, it did not.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
What is it? I'm serious. I'm serious about this. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, one of the first lolly stuff was like quite literally an incest doji.
Yes.
Yeah.
It quite literally started from porn. You can cope. You can cope about it all you want. It quite literally started from porn.
Yeah.
It started out so innocently. No, it didn't.
Like, here's the thing. It evolved into innocent stuff because guess what? People like cute things. That's how it always goes. Everyone loves the cute little thing in the room. And not only that, lollies, because like for a lot of these people, especially modern times, is that they want to separate lolly from moe, because there are lolly character, like, what is it? Lolly characters are designed to be as moe as possible. Like, you showed Shiro from No Game No Life. Shiro is a lolly, but she is so manufactured in a way from moe that you cannot separate the two. Compare her to, say, like Taiga from Toradora, where everyone collectively agrees technically Taiga could be a lolly, but like we don't really see that, and she's just short.
I consider her a lolly. I've never heard somebody say she's not one.
It's not that like she couldn't be considered a lolly, but like she feels so like disconnected from the trope enough to be like, yeah, we can just say she's short, but like still a lolly. You know what I mean?
Fair.
unfairly. For example, a lot of people think that the cute little girl trope has always existed in anime, but that's not really the case. During the 1960s and 70s, one of the biggest trends in manga was an aesthetic style called gekiga, a style of drawing that emphasized realism and mature cinematic storylines. But some artists at the time weren't really satisfied with this. They wanted characters to be more expressive and emotive. So, artists like Hideo Azuma, taking inspiration from the shoujo manga of his time, were the first to break away from mainstream aesthetics and do their own thing. Okay, you know that blobby look that...
So somebody calls him out in the comments on this, but he's going to pretend like Hideo Azuma had nothing to do with Lolly. But a bunch of people kind of consider him like a pillar of it.
Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't make sense because it's like...
He's going to pretend that Lolly is a response to Hideo.
Yeah, that's weird. You sound like what is it? You sound like one of those people who like they talk just enough to be like, you know what? You kind of make sense, but it's like, wait a minute, you sound wrong, but I can't point out why. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense because like Astro Boy and stuff got big because the whole thing was that.
I was going to bring that up, but Astro Boy is considered like the kickoff point of anime. I'm not saying it's like the first, but it is like the jumping off point of anime. And if you've ever seen the original Astro Boy, it is not super realistic.
Yeah. If anything, Gekida came out because people thought like Osamu Tezuka's style was like super kiddie and stuff like that. Like stuff like why am I forgetting his name? No. The author of Devilman and Cutie Honey and stuff. Like he made stuff that ended up getting more popularity and being like, it's more realistic, it's more grim, it's an evolution. And Osamu had to keep up with that, which is why he tried doing stuff like Dororo that only had like mild success until like the remake recently. Like, it makes no sense why you're trying to say, oh, it's because of this, when it's like, no, it didn't get popular as a kickoff to like against this trope. It's styles change and evolve like Disney. That's how it works. And it has like somewhat success over the years. That's just how it is.
Also, chat's mentioned it, but yeah, Hideo for many people is actually considered like the godfather of lolicon.
Yes, Go Nagai. I don't know why I forgot Go Nagai because I can't shut up about him when I start bringing him up.
That you see in a lot of modern anime, you know the one. Super rounded faces with eyes that take up half the head. Yeah, this style of drawing.
I know.
What? Did you want to comment?
Okay, he used that one scene from not Kami-sama Kiss, but Kami-sama Karin, and everybody, you know, because I know this brother is a shonen boy. Only people all know that specific scene was because of the TV. It was the TV broadcast. It looks bad because of the TV broadcast to the point where people don't even know it got corrected off, you know, for the DVD release. So I know you're a fake fan.
Like, that is one thing I have to complain about when people show this a lot, is they'll show like weird anime girl faces. And it's like, you understand that just like American media, sometimes there are fuck-ups in like the drawing. It doesn't necessarily mean they're intended to be that way. They were on a deadline, something got fucked up, and they missed the correction on it the first time through. That doesn't mean they intended her to look like that.
Exactly. Now here's the thing: you got some of the funny corrections that didn't get passed, like the time that one cabbage basically revolutionized the how food should always look good in anime. But the problem is that you and I both know that is a thing that happens. And then it's also just doesn't help the fact that, like, if I remember correctly, because it's been a long time, Kami-sama Karin is technically a kid's manga. Because people just don't realize that a lot of shoujo is definitely more like kid-centric and is like lacking fan service and all that type of stuff. But they'll do that, and it's just like you're uneducated.
Yeah. And chat mentions, The Simpsons has like a lot of weird out of context frames. You can do it with a ton of anime. Anime has mistakes in editing as well. It happens. And people just pretend it doesn't for some reason. I've never understood it.
Well, you see, you can mess up, but you can't mess up like this until the Blu-rays come out.
Yeah.
Like again, it's like the whole thing with like how people get mad about anime censorship, and then sometimes it will be actual censorship, and then other times it'll be that's just the TV guidelines. You cannot show this because of the TV guidelines. It's been that way since forever, and it may get looser or stricter depending on who's in power. That's how it's always been, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Kind of started with shoujo manga, a story genre that was primarily meant for young girls and women, but manga artists who were looking for change, like Hideo Azuma, saw this and just decided, hey, we should be able to do this for other genres too.
I have no idea why he's choosing his particular music options. I know exactly what song he's playing in the background, and if YouTube picks that up, I'm getting copyright claimed to shit.
Also,
I don't know how
Also,
he's gotten through this without this video getting taken down with some of these songs.
that's not true. All genre. Here's the thing: like all genres looked. What is it? The shoujo art style came out because of stuff like I don't remember, but Bjorn, who was in like this one film from like a long time ago, because he basically popular. What is it? The shoujo art style that we know about today, or at least the shoujo style of the past that was really popular and still is popular some times, is because of Bjorn and stuff like Rosa Versailles. And it's like, this style has always existed. It just didn't look the same as it did now, or it did then. Like back then, it wasn't ultra sparkly. Then Rosa Versailles came out. Then it became super sparkly. Then it evolved into super sparkly. Now it's just kind of a little more normal now, which I have my own problems with that. But it's still out there. It's still there. It's still nice.
If you checked one anime a year, every year from the exact same genre, you could probably see the evolution in the art style.
Yep. Like even these girls on screen, like they remind me a lot of the anime Heidi, because that was what was popular back then. Heidi, Anne and the Green Gables, stuff like that existed back then. That was technically moe anime and fascinated the world public and stuff like that, because that's how that's just how it was back then. But if you're only a tourist who likes to be selective about what they say.
Yeah.
And with this wave of artists making this type of character design in stories outside the shoujo manga genre, it kind of helped to popularize it. They didn't directly create the lolly trope and genre.
They quite literally did. Damn, quite literally did.
Again, it'd be one thing if you were saying they from that, but he's just trying to be like, you know what? Nah, it didn't exist before this. It's actually a lot better than this. Guys, you gotta believe me. My stuff is superior for my own reasons that I'm making up right now.
I would also have to point this out, and I have to do more research to make sure I'm 100% correct when I say this. But from the short research I was able to do in the time of watching this video before stream to now, as far as I can tell, he sort of, to some degree, did it as a response to yaoi.
You know what? I'm not shocked about that.
Apparently, that was an annoying yaoi problem at events, and that's kind of what kicked off people wanting to do lolicon for some reason. I don't know the exact, pipeline there, but apparently that is the pipeline.
I'm technically not shocked about that. Some people don't realize that Yuri and Bara is also kind of like a response to yaoi because it is so popular, which is why, as much as Yuri is also popular, it doesn't get the same notoriety. And it's just, people just don't realize that.
Yaoi of all things. So, apparently, even back at the early days of lolicon, people did not like yaoi girls. Apparently, they were really fucking annoying, and everybody hated them. So they were genuinely trying to come up with different genres of anime that would both be popular and actively scare away the yaoi girls.
I'm not... To be fair, in Japan, yaoi goes deep. Even before yaoi was a thing, there were BL artists in the Edo period.
Yeah. So apparently, even in Japan, everybody really hates BL girls. Like it's just really annoying. They're just really annoying.
No, you guys. There's Fujoshis and then there's yaoi girls. There's a very large difference because one is annoying and the other will ruin your day. One's like slightly annoying, but in like the wholesome fandom type annoying, and then the other one just will ruin your day.
I have to say too, Hideo did a really good fucking job coming up with Lolly. As we can see with the yaoi girls constantly getting pissy with Blue Archive, apparently the madman did it. He actually found the thing that the yaoi girls would hate the most. He found it. It's amazing.
But these more exaggerated proportions and expressions kinda laid the groundwork for future artists to iterate upon. Now, I do need to mention this just to be fair, that not every early lolly character was originally created for purposes.
Yes, they were. Pretty much, yes.
Again, dude, this is like saying, here's the thing. It's like the whole thing with Mickey Mouse. Was Mickey Mouse created for erotic purposes? No. But you had people that made a bunch of early, what we would now consider fan art. And it exists for a reason, because people just wanted to mess with people. In this case, someone was like, these designs are hot. I'm going to make them because they're hot. It's not that serious. You don't have to defend something that doesn't need to be defended.
Yeah. Why'd he bleep himself? Oh, he's going to do that a lot. Don't worry.
Is it gonna be like that one guy? I forgot, what is it? What was his name again? Internet anarchist.
I don't know how far in the video it is, but there's one part in the video where he bleeps himself like 12 times in a row. And I'm just like, I genuinely have no idea what you said, because I picked up like 2 words in between those bleeps.
Oh my god.
Thank you, Sart. Now, people misunderstand why is bad. It's not because children can't be sexy. It's because children can't consent. Legally exist a mature woman in a youthful body. They deserve love, holy censorship.
Yeah.
No, it's there's like a 4chan message that people sometimes post around that kind of explains it. It's like people don't understand the problem with like a lolicon is not that the body type is so pure that gazing upon it will taint your eyes permanently. It's that children literally can't consent. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
While the trope would eventually be eroticized in the 80s, a huge chunk of them were made purely to be as endearing and as cute as possible. But that isn't to say that everything that influenced the lolly genre was simple and wholesome. The appeal for the trope was also influenced by Japan's IRL entertainment industry, in a very sketchy way though.
Notice we have long since gone past Hideo, who is the godfather of lolicon, who his first works of lolicon were explicitly sexual in nature. And we have well gone past him. I don't even know why. The fact that we have gone past him like this makes me confused of why he brought him up. Like that's kind of what confuses me, right? Because you would think he would go into his history of creating lolicon if he was going to bring him up. But all he did was he brought him up and said, he made shoujo. Okay, how is he relevant to anything else then?
I think he did that as a way to be like, somebody's going to bring it up in the comments. And it's like, oh, no, guys. I read into his stuff. It's not that bad. So anyway, the entertainment industry.
Yeah. It just feels weird that he brought him up and we're genuinely just not talking about him at all anymore. Like his name was name dropped and then we're gone.
During this time, Japan was going through a bit of a pop idol boom. The modern-day Japanese pop idol scene would get its start during this period. It was characterized by very pretty, but very young talents. For example, Agnes.
I have to point out, because this is something I've noticed with a lot of his videos, is he'll say, like, Japan was doing this, Japan was doing that. It's like, you know that was kind of the whole world at that time, right?
Yeah.
Like, particularly with pop music. Pop music wasn't something that kind of just was popping up in Japan. Pop music was popping up everywhere. And all of the talents were typically on the younger side. To
If
be fair, I
anything.
don't really understand why the talents were on the younger side. I think maybe it's just because they were the first ones to be interested in that kind of music, and
Yeah.
they were
I
trying
think
to like catch on to the trend.
in a lot of ways, the reason why it's younger people is because people look up, what is it? You got the younger people who look up to the technically older kids. What is it? It's kind of like the same thing with like Japan and like its whole thing with like high school. It's like high school is the litmus test of like, this is the one bubble space where you're old, but you're still young.
Yeah,
And so young kids look up to teenagers and be like, oh, y'all are so cool and you get so much freedom. And the older generation is like, I remember when I used to look that young and pretty. So that's exactly why it's like that. The problem is that you could have probably made a better argument if it's weird how the Western industry adultified them, whereas the Eastern industry kind of like babified them. That's what you could have leaned into. But no,
Yeah.
you're just going to make up stuff.
and it's just weird that he'll do this a lot. He'll talk about like Japan, like it's a separate universe from the rest of the world, and it's like, no, that's actually something that happened in America, in Europe, just kind of everywhere. For some reason, pop music just kind of took off at the same time across the world.
Yep. Was it, remember how young Britney Spears was, how young Michael Jackson and his siblings were when they started? Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, people don't realize that because in the United States, at least from what I know, what they did with singers was they quote unquote adultified them. They made them older so that by the time you know about them, they're already adults, even though they were already being like sexualized or made to be more quote unquote mature when they first started in the industry as actual kids. It's
Yeah.
a weird thing. It's a weird thing that nobody wants to address unless it's to win internet arguments, but people just don't notice it. They just notice the idol ones because Japan's new popular thing now.
Yeah.
Chan, one of Japan's earliest pop idols, was only 17 when she released her hit song Poppy Flower.
Damn, that's old. Ag status, real. I joke, but it like we literally are just talking about this. If we're talking about American pop idols, we're looking at like 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Japan's youngest pop idol was 17. It's like, god damn, she's old.
I'm pretty sure Miley was like, I want to say she was probably like 15 or something when she did Hannah Montana, around that age at least.
Yeah.
Like, heck, the whole what is it? Heck, the whole joke about Hannah Montana was how the guy who played her brother, Jason Dolly, was actually like a 30-year-old, like a man when he did that, and then like he only found out afterward. People found out only afterwards that he was in his 30s, despite being around this cast of like preteens.
By the way, chat, one of the reasons I'm kind of bringing this up and why we're kind of mentioning this is he's trying to put it in this context of, see, Japan is super weird with this obsession with youth kind of thing. And it's like, if you want to argue humans as a whole are weird about being obsessed with youth, I'll give you that. But Japan is not abnormal in like having young pop stars. That was just, they're not even abnormal for having young pop stars in the 80s, 90s. That was just every country in the 80s, 90s. Like, you can't even narrow it down to a time period. It was still just everybody.
Heck, if you really think about it, because like when you look at like media and stuff about how like talents are scouted, most depictions always have them around their teenage years where they can legally like they're still with their parents, but they can have like enough conscience to legally sign stuff. There's child actors, obviously, but like they mostly just go for teenagers. Whereas in America, you got talent agencies being like, all right, you got Becky, Sherman, and Sally, and they're 8 and they're going to star in our TV show today.
Yeah. Thank you, Internet Zen. If the female monster, example Sadako, is to bad girl to wholesome girl failure trend in Japan is anything to go by, Lolly had a similar arc, except Lolly started at sex.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Momoe Yamaguchi, another early Japanese pop idol, was only 13 when she first applied to become a singer. Add on the fact that this was kind of the pre-Enlightenment.
That's kind of a weird way to phrase that. She was only 13 when she first applied. That doesn't tell like when she started. You could probably apply at any age.
Not only that,
Like when was
because
she
I was like, oh,
accepted?
13. It's like, good for her. Was there anybody there? Did she succeed afterwards? Did she get into the industry? Like, you should be more type of thing.
Yeah.
Age where media was predominantly catered to the male gaze, which is how you get 15 to 17-year-old girls singing lyrics like, if that's what you want, I'm okay with anything you do to me. I'm alright with rumors that I'm a bad girl. Or, we all experienced just once the sweet snare of seduction.
Yeah, both of these songs were from Momoe Yamaguchi when she was only 14 years old. And you start to realize that Japan's idol industry is not beating the allegations of exploitation when you learn that her songs were
That's not idol industry. And number two, did she write the lyrics or did someone else write the lyrics? And even then, you also have to remember, like, their definition of that is not the same as the American definition of that. You have a right to criticize it, but like, what is the cultural context for that? Because them being a quote unquote bad girl is different from, heck, even today's modern standards of a bad girl. You could dyeing your hair is considered being a bad girl back then.
Chad already mentioned it, but we like Azahara mentioned it specifically. Mandy Moore was 15 singing about wanting to lick dick like candy. Like,
huh?
Yeah. Like, no, we had people, like, we had like these young pop stars in America singing about the same shit. And it's even like worse I know for a fact it was worse in Europe. So like you can criticize the practice. I'm perfectly fine with criticizing the practice. In fact, I would agree with you that I really don't think we should have kind of these child stars in general. I don't think it's healthy for kids to be put on a pedestal like this at such a young age, much less to have them like sexualize themselves in that way. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Japan is just uniquely bad about this. They weren't. Again, it was everywhere in the world at the same time period, at the same age ranges.
Yeah. Listen, the only reason why people don't even really quote unquote call it out a lot in the EN market is because most of that exploitation, not most of it, but a lot of those exploitations came from like the black rap scene where mostly black people call out like, hey, I think it's weird that you're adultifying these young black girls and we should probably put a stop to that. But of course, because nobody really cared, it just kind of flew under until probably more recently with the whole Diddy stuff.
Yeah. And yet, my problem with him saying this is, again, he's trying to frame it as like, wow, guys, isn't Japan so weird about this? No, it was everybody. It was everywhere.
intentionally written to be as suggestive as possible because these were the ones that were selling. Apparently, her early songs really weren't that successful, but that changed when the talent agency she was with gave her a songwriting and composing team.
I will say this, however, because I can kind of see partially where he's going with these were the popular ones that people liked. I don't think a lot of people know how old any of these kids are, to be like quite frank. Like, I genuinely, a lot of people have mentioned that Justin Bieber was 14. I genuinely did not know how old Justin Bieber was until like a couple years ago. Like how old he was when he was at his peak. Because I just, there was never a time when I think it came up in conversation. You know, like, oh, Justin Bieber's popular. I wonder how old he is. Like, I just, you didn't think about that.
If anything, for at least me, because obviously that would be like my age demographic, I never really was into Justin Bieber. But like, you heard like, oh, he's so pretty, he's so young, and you would hear stuff like that. But then you wouldn't really think, oh, like I could, unless you were aiming for the entertainment industry yourself, you just saw him as that guy who got popular and he's hanging around bad adults. And then people just kind of were like, oh, showed their sympathy, their thoughts and prayers, and then moved on because there's going to be a new celebrity probably like in a 1 to 2 years.
Yeah. Like, I really don't think a lot of people who enjoyed these singers knew anything about their age.
Yep.
I feel like most people who are searching ages for particular singers probably have different thoughts in their mind.
Listen, let's never forget the Olsen twins. That one was weird.
That was mega.
We'll never get to that.
It's mega fucking weird.
We'll never get to that level of weird ever again. And people have tried, but it's the fact that that guy was the first.
Yeah.
That intentionally wrote very risque lyrics to help sell her music more. Keep in mind, she was...
I don't believe that. He said she was intentionally writing risque lyrics. I don't think she was.
My thing
I think a lot of people know most pop musicians don't write their own shit. It was really just Michael Jackson.
Like that's what he said. He was saying like, oh, she got a songwriting team and they wrote the suggestive lyrics. Here's the thing. If an adult is buying this, like you said, they're not going to think about the age of the person behind it, because guess what? They probably want romantic music with their partner, and they're just going to be like, hey, this is actually a good singer, and this sets the mood right. No one's thinking, oh, man, this person is 13. I got to look up if they're 13 I got to look up if their stuff is like really good until they're 13 or they're 18 or whatever. It's like, no, they're just trying to find mood setting songs. And you can find out about the horrors later, especially back in the day where you couldn't really readily access that.
Yeah, during the 80s and 90s, we did not have all this information like at our fingertips, to be frank.
Not the 18 clock. Oh.
Only 14 and 15 when she performed the songs I quoted just now. You can't convince me that the talent agency didn't know what they were doing. Again, just like the artists from before, while this didn't magically make Japanese people attracted to adolescent fictional characters, it did help to normalize a bit the idea of consuming media involving adolescent and immature women. All of this is to say that the lolicon genre was the
I just don't believe it is.
It really isn't. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
People, again, like people be like, oh, it's normalizing, it's normal. They're already doing it in their own way. This is probably the safest way they did it without just straight up exploiting these people in a back alley. Like, these people were already there. They just now have an actual thing to go to.
Yeah. Thank you, Start Now. The countdown to Little Tay's 18th birthday was genuinely disturbing, to be honest. So many creeps. Yeah.
That's...
culmination of everything that was going on in Japan during the 1970s and 80s. Some artists in the 70s wanted manga to be more expressive, so they made characters with proportions more exaggerated and emotive. Japan's idol industry was being born, so talent agencies wanted really young talents to capture the predominantly male audience's imagination. And unironically, Japan also just has an innate addiction with anything cute. It's a huge reason why Japan has some of the best known cutest mascot characters in the world. Sanrio, Chikawa, Chitan, this fucking thing. My point is, we can't just call Japan
most of those are modern examples. Hello Kitty was an unexpected outcome. No, people don't realize like Hello Kitty just didn't come out overnight. It's like a Vocaloid thing where they made Vocaloid and they made, like, if you know the history of Vocaloid, they made mature voices first. And then, like, Mika wasn't even the freaking first one. They just kept pumping him out, and then Mika was popular. People will only go to what
Miku's
is
like Series 3 or Series 4.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a bit before Miku.
What is it? There's like Leon and Lola are just straight up adult characters. When Miku took off, they had to rebrand them into like the quote unquote younger characters they were because nobody was buying them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, you could say it's an innate addiction to cuteness. And it's like, no, that's a more modern thing because there was also like clear adultification there, but they couldn't really snag into that, like, say, the American brand, because the American brand has their pockets deep with being weird to kids. And then there's, again, Hello Kitty was not even like the first Sanrio character. There are like several Sanrio characters before her. There were several Vocaloids before Miku. All this stuff isn't manufactured. It just suddenly happens. And it's, what is it? It's like that meme of the Circle Factory and there's a square now. Guess we're making squares now.
I feel like Hello Kitty is more popular specifically in the West.
She is popular there, but it's more
I'm not saying
like
she's not popular. I mean, out of the whole cast.
yeah.
Because anytime I see Sanrio anything in like particularly gacha for collabs and stuff, it's typically never Hello Kitty. It's the little pink rabbit and the little black rabbit, which the black one is Kuromi, right?
Yeah, so it's My Melody and Kuromi. My Melody and Kuromi are a more recent popularity because if you go back in the beginning, Hello Kitty was dominated. And then
Yeah.
her friends started getting other stuff. Rip my boy Choco Cat, he deserves better. My Melody was technically the second cutest one, and that's why she ended up getting her own series. But it was still, it's based off of Hello Kitty, like still connected to Hello Kitty's brand. Like she only got popular because she was already attached to Hello Kitty.
Fair.
And
It
then
just,
in, like,
I feel
more
like every
recent
time I
times-
see Hello Kitty in Japan, it's My Melody and Kuromi, and then this little yellow cat thing, yellow dog thing.
Yeah, Pom Pom Purin. I wouldn't be surprised if it was because, like, again, you go back into the history of Hello Kitty, she had like a ton of TV series. In more recent times, people have been like acknowledging My Melody and Kuromi more, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with the old anime that came out because that's how I got addicted to these two. Well, I got addicted to them before, but I got to know them more as the idiot and the rascal.
Yeah.
Characters in the world. Sanrio.
State I found bro in after he did. So this is just a random meme.
Chikawa.
I have no
Again,
idea what this is
Chikawa-
about.
Chico is that white little furball that's been popping up recently. For a lot of Western fans, they were introduced to them via Jaden Animations, and then it kind of spread out from there. It's all right. It's all right. It's cute. It's
Cheetah.
So I'd like to
And
point.
Cheeton is
So this
a
throws
recent
me
thing.
off because for the other two, he showed memes, and then for Cheeton, he shows this. A part of me thinks that this is a meme video of Cheeton, when this just is Cheeton.
yeah,
They're just
like
like a Japanese jackass, but in a mascot suit.
yeah, like the whole point of Cheeton is like they're the subversion. Like you could have used like a ton of mascots, but you just chose the one meme one that blew up in the West, which is I know this video was not poorly researched because you're using stuff that only Western people know about recently.
Yeah.
This.
Kanchan, the enema penguin hybrid mascot of a company that makes enemas and laxatives.
I think it's based. If anything, you should have used the one. What is it? You should have used Shimon-chan, the Emperor Butterfly that predates all prefecture mascots. That thing's just straight up a femboy butterfly. They just refuse to acknowledge his gender.
We can't just call Japan creeps and leave it at that. There were plenty of societal influences independent of each other that resulted in the idea of the lolly trope. Hell, it's even alleged part of the reason why lolly manga is a thing in the first place was because of the yaoi genre.
Why are we using this girl?
I don't know.
So for those that don't know, for a hot minute, a couple of months ago, this girl just started popping off because she was everybody thought this was like a video from like 14 years ago of a yaoi girl and her mom, like, you know, throwing away her yaoi. And then people just were like, this came out today. This came out like an hour ago. And she just kind of grew up into her own thing. And yeah.
Thank you, Pro Bono, by the way, for the flower. It is appreciated.
Yes, everybody, this is 1 year ago, because when you watch the video, you think it's one of those, like, what is it? You think it's one of those, like, people that film themselves from, like, 14 years ago and, like, do the whole blog thing. No, this came out from last year.
Yeah.
The logic being that, well, since yaoi was originally for female otakus, male otakus in Japan thought they deserved their own genre, and in turn, they created lolly manga as a response.
Don't ask me how that line of logic progresses. That's just what I read.
Now,
See, you could tell that he didn't do like any research into this. In my short amount of research, I was able to more heavily substantiate this and track it back specifically to Hideo.
Not only that, but you can also tell he doesn't even read yaoi manga, because if you read yaoi manga, you know exactly why.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with yaoi manga is there's like just mostly sex. Of course they're gonna make their own.
That line of logic progresses. That's just
So Morikawa produced a fanzine to share their interest in the comic market, which itself was a space founded by male shoujo fans in order to socialize and share interest. Faced with the overwhelming presence of girls and women at the comic market, and the dominance of fanzines by and for girls and women, focusing on sexual and romantic relationships between male characters, Azuma and his friends were opening space for boys and men. In fact, even as Azuma was responding to shoujo manga in his Bishoujo manga, lolicon fanzines were responding to yaoi fanzines by and for girls and women. If imagined and created relations with, between, and through male characters provided girls and women with space to more flexibly play with gender and sexuality, Azuma and his friends raised the possibility of something. So what kind of annoys me too is these have citations on them. If you're the one doing the research, right? I can't do this on the fly because I live stream. This is a scripted video. You could have checked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different citations for this if you really wanted to. And you didn't look up any of them.
If anything, I'm kind of more interested about, comic cat culture, because I hear about it and it sounds like a good time. All I've seen from it, though, is the fact that those people just do not have an 18+ section. You are going to be flashbanged by a penis somewhere.
Yes. Really quick, because it has on the bottom here what he actually pulled this from, and it's a name that is decidedly not Japanese.
Yeah. My thing with it is, like, you can tell at least somewhat that this guy actually got his citation, but the problem is like, when you have citations like this, because I've harped on this too, about how you got a lot of people who will go into, like, do research about Japanese media and use, like, none of, like, any Japanese sources. They'll find the most American European sources ever. Yeah. But the problem is those American European sources at least try to link back to other Asian sources, and these people just don't look into them at all because they want to use Gerald Gottfried or something from downstate Montana.
Funnily enough, this guy's name is Patrick Galbraith. He had a book called Otaku and the Struggle for Imagination in Japan, a ethnographic book that analyzes the complex world of otaku in Japan, exploring their relationships with cute girl characters and the cultural tensions surrounding them. Published in 2019, the book uses field work in Akibahara and historical research to argue that otaku culture is a site of conflicting ideas about gender, sexuality, and national identity, while also serving as a space for imagining alternative social worlds and challenging traditional masculinity.
No?
The book is considered a significant contribution to manga and anime studies, Japan studies, and queer theory. By the way, it was published by Duke University. It has a 3.6 out of 5 on Goodreads. So what do the actual ratings look like?
Again,
3 out of 5. This is a confusing book. Having in mind the author's credentials, I wonder if it was meant to be a scientific paper, because, for the very same reason, he is way too biased to be impartial. On the other hand, if the book was meant to serve as a layman's introduction to the topic, the academic style is making the text difficult to read and the point hard to find. The text is written from the standpoint of a man about men in its extensive descriptions of typical otaku, the positive and negative stereotypes, the way the formal society generally frowns upon them for being weird, immature, not upstanding members of society, for their cosplaying and or cross-dressing. The topic is strictly the male part of otaku culture. It is unclear whether a female can even be an otaku or what makes one a real otaku in the first place. Da, 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 da.
Well, my thing is, you could do a thing with queer theory, but they never use actual queer manga. Like, they just never do. They never talk about it. They're just like, I'm going to take the most generic popular series ever and then be like, you know what? This one has the representation, even though they're not even the main characters. It's like that one thing where, what is it? It's like that one thing somebody called out recently about how, like, guess what? Stop looking for representation in gacha games and go support an actual gacha game that has representation. Oh, wait, you won't because it's not popular.
So, funnily enough, most of the negative reviews on his book are people upset that he defends Lolicon. Apparently, within this book, he has a strong defense of Lolicon, and people are extremely upset about that.
You know what? A little based.
So there's like multiple videos. There's like the opening chapter. This like the next review is the opening chapter is fine, and then it delves into a bizarre defense of Lolicon. Internet Zen. This is a Thomas Lockley and Yasuke situation, isn't it? Wait, queer theory? Oh Lord, have mercy. Is this some gender studies direct? Isn't it? I have no idea what this book is. Like, it's got weird like back and forth mixed reviews. But it is correct. It looks like it was more meant to be a research paper, and then somebody said, fuck it, shove it in a book.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's what I read.
Now, I know I'm leaving out other influencers for time. Like, one thing I didn't get to mention was the 1980s lolicon boom. Yes, that's the actual name of the period coined by some researchers.
Megan Solushviskeski. The cost of lolicon, Japan pedophilia trade. That's what
My
some
thing is,
people are calling it. This person, okay.
I hate people that do this. I hate his type of videos because it's like, well, I gotta leave it out for time. No, you don't. You have a schedule. Extend the schedule. If you really wanted to deep dive about this, actually deep dive about it. I hate people that be like, I have an interesting topic, and it's like I kind of had to cut out like 50 other interesting things because I want to get out an arbitrary video in 20 to 17 minutes. Lame, boring. Go back to college and actually research stuff.
So I looked up this one really quick. This is not even a research paper. This is somebody's senior thesis paper at Fordham Institute for their bachelor's degree in art.
Mm-hmm.
This thesis investigates Japan's normalization of pedophilia via the proliferation of popular culture and media. This analysis will begin by looking at historical examples of pedophilia, specifically focusing on Shigo in medieval Japanese Buddhism.
Is this talking about? I think I know what she's talking about.
Wakashu in Edo period pleasure quarters, and the spread of soft power diplomacy after World War II. This phenomenon will also be viewed in the modern context by discussing lolicon in Japanese media and advertising idol culture in the Japanese music industry, the JK business, and quote-unquote real child imagery. The way that Japan benefits from this cultural, economically, and politically will also be investigated. Finally, this thesis will take into consideration the opinions of those who do not see these media forms as morally reprehensible and consider the ways this phenomenon may or may not endanger children.
So I think I know what she's talking about with that, because if you do look at Japan's history, or really just the history of in just general, you just had people that would be like, all right, child, you're going to stay with me right now so you can go train. What do you mean that you don't understand why you have to touch me in several places to understand the training? Shut up.
That was more of like a all over the world thing, though.
Exactly.
Again.
So it's like, even using that as an example, it's like, that doesn't make any sense.
I wonder how he stumbled on to this specifically, because this is just somebody's shitty senior thesis paper. This isn't like a proper study or anything. It's just some kid's thesis.
They probably looked up the title and was like, "This has lolly in it, and clearly it's done by someone in college. Therefore, it makes it's my bias."
Yeah. How many pages even is this? It is 56 pages.
You didn't read this.
The last 4 pages are citations. They do have some pictures. She took a picture of a booth at Anime New York City that was selling Lolicon. I wonder if this art, like, they've got the picture of the artist in the background. I wonder if this artist knows that they've been included in this.
Hmm. I was
They
gonna be careful
also
about that.
they also have like a creep shot of some girls that are doing a JK business. Like they have a sneak photo taken from behind them, which I just find weird.
That's weird.
Yes,
New York, Japan.
But yeah, like, this is just some college kid's thesis. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. Also, welcome to the Puddle de Montana.
Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll wait for Kendra to go back. I don't know. It's weird to me when people take like these creep shots from behind a person. I don't like it. Like, ask them if you could take a picture or something. Don't just like sneak photos of them. It's just weird. Oh, well, Kendra is gone. We can we can read the definitions they have. So they have Japanese terms that you need to know. Anime, derived from the English word animation, refers to animation originating in Japan. The term represents a medium rather than a genre and can include a variety of different genres and styles of animation. However, anime, quote unquote, characters are often associated with exaggerated features, including large eyes and faces, small and thin bodies, and brightly colored appearances. Anime, quote unquote, can also refer to the animated version of manga, quote unquote. I don't know why those are like weird words. They have it strange, but okay. Kawaii, quote unquote cute, often refers to the culture of cuteness and innocence in Japan. This term can be used to refer to human or non-human objects that reflect a vulnerable and childlike aesthetic. This aesthetic has become a prominent part of Japanese culture, entertainment, clothing, toys, personal appearance, and mannerisms. Lolicon, a portmanteau of the English words Lolita complex, a genre of Japanese media, often anime, manga, or video games, that includes young or young-looking female characters in sexual situations. These characters usually appear to be prepubescent and describe a character as young as an infant. A lolicon can also be used as an adjective to describe a person who is a fan of media that portrays sexualized young female characters. So that's wrong. Manga refers to comics or graphic novels originating from Japan, also often representing the comic version of anime. Like anime, manga is a medium rather than a genre and can contain various genres and art styles. Otaku, a Japanese word often used pejoratively that describes men who are intensely interested in popular culture, usually anime, manga, video games, and animated pornography. It is usually associated with individuals who are obsessed with these media forms to the detriment of their social skills. They actually include Shotokan, by the way. Shotokan, a portmanteau of the words Shotaro complex, similar to the idea of lolicon, but it is young boys that are sexualized in the media rather than young girls. I'm gonna mispronounce the shit out of this, because I just always fuck up this word. But it's Shoshuko Kai Danshi, which is the herbivore men trait, a term used in Japan to describe men who express little interest in relationships or marriage with women. It also often refers to men who take a less aggressive and more passive approach in relationships with women. Wakashu, or young man, a term referencing adolescent boys, particularly during the Edo period in Japan. They were usually between the ages of 7 and 18, and were identified by their hairstyle and outfit. This identity was transient, and Wakashu would transition into adult men after their coming-of-age ceremony. They were considered to be objects of sexual desire by adult men. And then they also have Chigo, child, shortened version of the word Shinomigo, an unweaned child. This term is usually used in medieval Japanese Buddhism to refer to young trainee monks between the ages of 12 to 18 who were given room, board, and education in exchange for their companionship and sexual services. Chigo often had tragic deaths and were sometimes revealed to be Bodhisattvas posthumously. I can't even pronounce that word. What the fuck is that word? Bodhisattva refers to anyone who has generated Bochita. Thank you. I don't know what that means. That did not help me. Yes, Chad, it looks like it's a Buddhist thing, but the actual definition it gives me does not fucking help.
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back. I was reading through her definitions.
Okay.
My favorite. So, one of them was Chigo, or child, shortened version of the word Chinomigo, which was not the interesting part. At the bottom it says Chigo often had tragic deaths and sometimes were revealed to be Bodhisattvas posthumously. So I'm like, what the fuck is Bodhisattvas? So I Google it, and it said Bodhisattva refers to anyone who has generated bodhicitta. And I was like, thank you. That explained everything for me. I completely understand what the fuck that means. That really helped. I appreciate it. Apparently, though, it is a Buddhist concept.
Yes.
For some reason, though, they have like they use some Japanese words in here instead of just like using the a more Americanized word throughout their document, like Shoshuko Kai Danshi, the herbivore men thing. They do actually have Shotokan in here, which Shotokan, portmanteau of the words Shotaro complex, similar to lolicon, but young boys instead of young girls.
Okay.
They also claim lolicon is specifically sexual media, which it's not.
Again, evolution. It may have started that way, but it's not all that way. It's just that, guess what? That some people still engage in it. That's how it works. That's how it all. That's culture. That's how it always is.
Toa says it's pronounced Bodhisattva. And then Internet Zen Master says it's basically one who has attained enlightenment in Buddhism. In this case, it'd be Zen Buddhism, given we're talking about Japan. But yeah, the article, or the thesis doesn't seem that interesting overall. I don't know why he used it. Just so we could have like the word lolicon boom in here.
Exactly.
Literatures where stories involving this trope were at its most numerous, but I do hope you get the idea that the
Minky Momo is not a lolly.
Yeah.
Minky Momo is not a lolly. If anything, if he was smart enough, he would have used the Minky Momo curse. But these people aren't smart enough for that.
Shogun genre is a lot more nuanced and long-winding. Like, one thing you gotta remember is that a lot of the things that influence the idea...
I feel like he's gonna constantly show Monogatari and No Game, No Life.
And it also doesn't help that, again, No Game No Life is so deep seated in otaku culture. It's going to make references to lolly regardless. They made a freaking JoJo reference before JoJo was popular in the West. So of course, duh. And Monogatari, people don't realize that the author is basically what was it? It's a book file, bibliophile. The author is a bibliophile in Monogatari. He's gonna make stuff references to otaku media and just a ton of books in general. You're not gonna understand half of what he says unless you are actually Japanese and can read it.
Yeah.
Of the lolly trope genre happened over years, if not decades. We humans have a really bad tendency to compress events that happen over a large span of time into a really small period. But what if I told you that this wasn't always the case though? That Japan actually came around to hating the lolly trope and genre. That it
Eris isn't a lolly. Eris isn't. He just will just show clips of lolly characters in a row, and then you'll just randomly throw in a child character like that's not a lolly.
Thank you, Baracho. Definition: heck you, white guy. But yeah, I actually know exactly where he's going with this because, believe it or not, me and Kendra have talked about this before already.
Oh no.
Point, Japan genuinely had a satanic panic level of outrage against lollies.
So to point out, first off, this was not Japan had this. This was UN. And by the way, UN's Child Protection Envoy says extreme child that content and comics should be banned. This guy is no longer with the UN because he got busted for having actual CSAM material on his computer.
Not just that, if you know the UN, you know that a bunch of them, would touch a bunch of kids, and a lot of the foundations they founded themselves.
Yeah. No, this guy is fucking worthless, dude.
Not only that, when he said I thought he was gonna go into the stuff where last time with that one girl where they were like, yeah, no, they went out of their way to ban a bunch of manga and anime, and it's like, no,
oh, don't
they
worry,
just
we'll get
banned
there.
some of them. Oh no.
Outrage against lollies.
Of course, now we also have to talk about the otaku killer because everybody that trashes on Japan knows Junko and otaku killer. That's it.
Here's the thing. This guy was so bad, a Yakuza member stabbed him. Yeah. Just in broad daylight. That's how bad he was. Wait, no. I'm thinking of the Shinriko incident, which is another thing where it goes into cults that actually took in a bunch of young women, because every single time you hear a story of a cult, someone gets pregnant.
I'm surprised we don't hear more about Shinrikyo when people talk about Japan being shit.
I think the only one that's really in-depth about it, ironically enough, is the Aki Dearest video about it. And there are some anime that I do know of, like Penguin Drum, that kind of lightly touch on the historical values of that incident, because it's it's a really rough time. That was basically their 9/11. Yeah. And it's this. It's again, this is not the otaku is crazy and insane and stuff. The stigma was already there.
Yeah.
They just basically did the whole Columbine thing where they wanted to scapegoat it as much as possible. That's how it always goes. This guy was crazy because he went targeted young girls. And if you really saw his face out there, you'd think he was just a normal dude. People always do the whole predators are ugly. This guy looks like a normal dude. Heck, he looks like somebody you'd probably see talk about a Filthy Frank video or something. That's how this guy looks. That's why it was shocking, because stuff like that was unheard of. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But scapegoats.
Also, I thought we'd do another video after this one, but at the rate we're going, we're actually
crap.
It might just be this one tonight.
Listen, we don't need to just cycle through a bunch of people. We could just blank hit a bunch of them.
Now, if you know anything about online discourses, you know it's a lot of accusing people you don't know of things you think they do.
I would know. I dressed up as Moist Critical for a TikTok once, and someone immediately called me sexist. And the lolly trope is no different. If you say you're a fan of it, you've probably had a lot of opinions pre-made about you. But there is actually a precedent that shows this kind of thinking.
It really doesn't. Like, at all. What does this have to do with lollies? Otaku killer targeted little girls. Ergo, otaku hate children and are dangerous to them.
Yeah.
That is,
Keep in
that is
mind,
the entire line
again,
of logic.
Keep in mind, he had an anime. Yes, he did have it, but he also had a lot of imported media, specifically slasher fics, like a way too many to like the average person, even like a normal horror fan. It was insane because people did take pictures of his room, but because the anime stuff was on the floor, clearly that's the sticking point.
I also like how he goes, you know, if you've ever said you like lolly, you probably had a lot of preconceptions made about you. But there is precedent for that. Now shut the fuck up. No, there isn't.
No. Here's the thing, the otaku killer wasn't just lolly and stuff. It was just anime in general.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how it always worked.
Specifically in the Tsutomu Miyazaki murders. Tsutomu Miyazaki was a notorious Japanese murderer and what well, ate.
You see what I mean?
You can't be talking about these serious subjects and they have beep, 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 beep.
4 Japanese girls aging from 4 to 7. And to avoid being demonetized, and because I'm not a true crime channel, the long story short is that this case shocked Japan. During investigations, it was found that Tsutomu Miyazaki was a huge consumer of anime, manga, and videos. And when this information was made public, all hell broke loose. In Japan, there was an immediate stigma to anything that was labeled as otaku. It was these kinds of things that Miyazaki had consumed. So it had to be these kinds of things that urged him to do what he did. Japan was quite literally in an otaku panic, in the same way that America had their own satanic panic.
See,
No.
other than this just not exactly being true, you are aware that these days we acknowledge that the satanic panic was a bunch of really fucking stupid boomers that just got freaked out over some dumb shit.
Remember, the satanic Z, that is Pikachu.
Yeah.
Whatever that, I'm Christian. I don't even know what the heck is a satanic Z? Like,
Yeah.
even I think it's stupid.
Like, even if we're going with, yeah, Japan had a satanic panic about anime, this doesn't help your case. The whole point of the satanic panic was it was a bunch of stupid old people that started freaking out over nothing. This doesn't, like, it's not good for your argument.
And it didn't even work because those industries are still here.
They're bigger than ever.
If anything, the satanic panic actually made them even way bigger than what they thought they would.
Yeah. The UN, which has Iran and Saudi Arabia on the Human Rights Council, the same UN demanding Japan censor anime to protect women. F out of here.
Yeah, don't forget that one of the countries in the Middle East, and this is obviously not a thing against all Middle East, but it happened in the Middle East, about how there's they lowered their age of consent from 14 to 8. We're just never going to acknowledge that because because Saudi Arabia is not the popular country. So why go after the unpopular country when we could go after the popular country?
Yeah.
There was a genuine fear that if young people continued to consume these types of stories, they were just going to be too lost in the sauce and brain rotted. Now, here I'm going to have to do the one thing that most video essayists don't want to do. I'm going to have to refute myself. Because while there was a crazy media storm surrounding Tsutomu Miyazaki and the terrible things that he did, there are some that allege that the Japanese media kind of ran away with the whole thing.
There are some that allege the media might have gotten a little carried away. Really?
I want you to keep in mind that when this guy's family found out what he was, they already didn't treat him right. But his mom basically said when she found out that he was the killer, do what you will, and just didn't acknowledge him ever again after that.
Why bring
That
this
is
up
the
if you're
level
going
of
to
messed
disprove
up.
it? That's the thing. He's not disproving it. He is giving off an air of neutrality by saying, I'm going to have to refute myself. But then his actual refutation of himself is, some people possibly, maybe, kinda, sorta, say the media might have a little bit gotten carried away. Like, he's adding all these qualifiers, so it's not a real refutation. It's so you specifically think that what he's saying doesn't actually matter, that it still was a huge deal.
Remember, all times, anytime brings up the otaku killer, there is no actual source for where the name came from. Outside of the media came up with it because the media was what coined the term otaku in the first place.
Yeah.
For example, Japanese novelist and social critic Eiji Otsuka alleges that Japanese news outlets at the time really wanted to play into the public emotions by focusing really hard on the fact that Tsutomu Miyazaki had a huge manga collection and even consumed erotic manga and videos, completely ignoring the fact that up until that point, Tsutomu Miyazaki had a well-documented troubled childhood with neglectful and emotionally distant parents, a very close and beloved grandfather that died early in his life, thus depriving him of the only adult figure that cared about him, and early childhood isolation he alleviated by reading manga unsupervised. Even researchers like Sharon Kinsella, a noted sociology lecturer who specializes in studying contemporary Japanese pop culture, said that it was actually quite normal for people around Tsutomu Miyazaki's age to own the amount of media that he did. And to really round things off and to give a fair shake to the degenerate weebs, here's a quote from Japanese psychologist Saito Tamaki in his book Beautiful Fighting Girl.
See, this is what annoys me with people like this, is he set up this wall, right? And then he's like,
Yeah.
But a bunch of respected people say that everything I just told you is absolute horseshit. Like, why did you bring it up as an argument?
Not only that, again, like from like the Aki Dearest video, from the interviews that we do know about it, this guy's mother was absolute garbage. Again, when he was caught and people went to interview her, she literally said, do what you will with him. I don't care.
Yeah.
No duh, she's gonna turn into a psycho.
Yeah. It's just annoying because there's a part of me that feels like he recognizes that he took us down this tangent for no fucking reason. But at the same time, he's still going to latch onto it as if it matters. And it doesn't.
That talks about otaku sexuality. Quote,
as far as I know, the actual sex lives of otakus are extremely wholesome, even boring, which is to say that their sexual desires are wholesome and ordinary, not that different from regular folks. It's not unusual for male and female otakus to date, and once the men are able to earn a living and attain a position in society, they go on to marry normal women completely as a matter of course. Yeah, there can be some real freaks sometimes, but that can happen to any community. But
That's an American event.
Yeah.
That was an American event.
Just so we're all clear. It happened in America.
That feet, you're not going to see that feet thing in Japan. You might see boob pudding, but that's about as close as we're going to get.
I have seen a lot of cosplayers letting people fondle their breasts.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm trying to make is that Japan is not immune to having their own satanic panics. Playing into the public emotions aside, there was a genuine worry in the kinds of stories that were being told in anime and manga.
Don't worry, we're about to get to the second part of something that we've already covered before.
Oh my gosh.
Enough worry, actually, that the Japanese government started to crack down on any media that they thought took things too far. Japan also doesn't just give a free pass to lolicon media, as some people on the internet would say. There's this idea online that because of how perverted anime and Japanese games can be, Japan is kind of like this mecca of free speech and that you can make any story that you want. But there have been
Oh my
plenty.
gosh.
So, funny thing, right, is first off, he's quoting Wikipedia for this. The interesting part is, again, this video came out like a couple days ago. This is not on Wikipedia anymore. This entire section on Wikipedia has been changed. Within, like, I know, like, this video came out 5 days ago, so I don't know how long he was working on this or how long he was sitting on this picture. But in the time he started working on this video to the time he published it, this is not even true anymore on Wikipedia. I tried to check the sources on it. I can't because the one source doesn't link to anywhere. It just claims that it comes from like some sort of article, but I can't find the article anywhere. The other source comes from a another thesis of some sort, but it's behind a paywall, and I don't even know who you're supposed to pay to get it. You only get the first 10 pages out of like 385 something pages.
Yep.
And the actual cited area is on page 50. I can't get to the cited page.
Yep. Keep in mind, everybody, in Wikipedia, even though it doesn't look like it, other people who have an account on there can go backwards and be like, hey, let me see the previous revisions. So you can get the sources about from back then. It's just that the mods in Wikipedia also check those sources and will literally be like, give me this, and that. And we'll pull this back. And if it's accurate, it's accurate and it'll stay. If it does not even follow the smallest bit of citation that we can find, we're kicking it off. So that's how bad it is.
So I'm also going to point this out. So this part right here beside me that was behind my head, in February 1991, 3 comic shop managers were arrested for selling lolicon doujinshi. Me and Kendra have actually covered this already on a previous video. They were not arrested for selling lolicon. What was actually happening in this 1990s crackdown, which by the way, this actually is on the Wikipedia page for lolicon, is they were cracking down on stores selling not safe for work material, not behind like some sort of wall.
Exactly.
It was basically being put on the same floor as all the safe for work stuff. And people were getting in trouble for not segregating them into their own area. It was they were not targeting lolicon. In fact, the artists that got arrested, at least 2 of them, were not selling lolicon at all. So I don't know why the article claims they were. They were selling some kind of book about a teacher and her student, but it was a female teacher.
Yeah. It was basically one of those the hot teacher tropes where hot teacher's a bit ditzy. And even then, that's an actual satanic panic level incident, not this.
Yeah.
Not Otaku Killer. That's a Columbine incident. This is
So this is just like the context behind this incident is just completely made up. It's just factually incorrect. We actually found the actual original like magazine article it came from Japan translated, and it was pretty explicit that they were selling some sort of doujin about a teacher and her student, and it wasn't even Shotokan either. The student was like a older high school age student, so it wasn't even like it was a teacher with little kids. It was kind of pretty standard. It was like Persona levels of relationship.
Not only that, but they even remade the manga with new art, which isn't as good as the old one, but they apparently it was enough to still make a comeback nowadays.
Yeah. It's just, it blows my mind that I feel like he hasn't actually read into any of this. He just saw it. And he says, I'm just trying to make an overall point. Well, maybe you should actually check the sources before you just start quoting Wikipedia and make sure your point is correct. Because it wasn't.
You can't even say, oh, I'm just trying to make an overall point when literally in the video itself, earlier on, you just said, well, we tend to isolate stuff to one incident. We need to look at the overall incident and then make a general statement here with a Wikipedia link, by the way.
Yeah.
Instances where the Japanese government themselves are the ones to bring down the banhammer on certain stories. Now, you can absolutely debate whether or not that in of itself is a good thing, but my point is, Japan themselves can also see the kinds of stories they make and also find it weird. By and large, they're just like you and me. If you think it's weird that this character looks like a kid,
I hate these people so much because they're like, man, they're not this fantasy land. They're just like you and me. No, duh, dipstick.
Yeah. But you keep quoting stuff that's just wrong. Like, that's the problem with a lot of the quote-unquote Western research on anything from Japan, The thing is, I don't think they're misinformed. I think they're actively lying. And I'm gonna double, triple, quadruple down on that right now before you even make any arguments against it. I think 99% of these Western people who are making these theses and these research papers on Japanese history as it pertains to anime are just straight up fucking lying and just making it up. Because none of their sources ever actually, like, agree with what they're trying to tell you.
Yeah. Not only that, but it's like, it's even more egregious because this is why I harp on this a lot. Most of these people are from Europe or from, Europe, America, freaking Minnesota. And it's like, they're not going to understand, nor are they going to actually find legit translations for this stuff because translation itself is a gatekeeping barrier. So they're just hoping you believe them. You got to be careful about that.
Exactly.
In Japan also thought the same thing. But even with all of this, Japan continues to make stories involving lolly characters. It's a very popular trope that's passed the test of time. And with
that's not a lolly,
entire
that's a
moral
child.
panic. But
Sometimes child can be lollies, though.
No. Like the specific anime he is showing, those are not lolly. Those are like actual just child characters in universe.
Well, I know they're child
Like
characters in universe, but child characters can still be lollies. I think a lot of people would consider her a lolly.
Like, you know what? I can understand that. My thing is like, again, it's like what I said earlier. He'll throw up a bunch of anime that actually have real lolly characters, and then he'll just throw in an anime where it's like, yeah, no, that's just an actual child character. You're just making stuff up now just to prove a point. Your own point bias.
Yeah.
Question still is, why though? Why is this trope seemingly everywhere and still going strong in the modern day? And the answer is, well, what if I told you that there is no answer?
Yes, there is. It's because they're popular, you fucking dumbass. Why is this thing still so popular and everywhere? Because people like it.
Not only that, people are like, he literally went on a whole tangent being like, yeah, no, not all of Japan likes it. Okay, not all of America likes Magic the Gathering, but there are still Magic the Gathering events and everything. Because not everything is for everyone. That's the point of nerd culture. Because you're an idiot. For some reason, you can't get it in your head. You know what? This guy actually might be the Japan. Was it Thing Japan? Because he's trying to project really hard right now.
It's pretty bad. I don't think that's the original Nyanners version. If it was, you'd be getting a DMCA from her. She tries to take that shit down everywhere.
You know what's funny about Nyanners is she literally is like, listen, I don't even hate lolicon. I just hate the fact that I pandered to actual weirdos because I was like an actual child.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I know it's a cop-out to say that there's no real answer as to why Japan keeps making lollies. Before someone calls me a dirty centrist for not taking a stand, but hear me out. And this is mainly because...
What do you mean dirty centrist? You have been nothing but negative the entire video.
Yeah.
Trying to pretend like you're on both sides.
Because there are so many hands in the pot when it comes to making lollies as a trope and as a genre. For example, would you believe me if I said that this guy right here was an indirect pioneer of the lolly genre? That's right, Hayao Miyazaki, the acclaimed Ghibli director and creator of your favorite childhood animated movie, kinda also led to the creation of the lolly trope and genre. But not really, because you see, one of his earliest movies, Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro, had a character by the name of Clarice, who was super popular amongst male otaku circles. And this adoration for the character was very much non-sexual. A lot of fans profess their attraction to Clarice was mainly due to her fairy tale and girly aesthetic. Hell, even the...
That was Patrick Galbraith again.
Not only that, but
Did you have that entire thing censored? What was that? One sec.
The character was very much non-sexual. A lot of fans profess their attraction to Clarice was mainly due to her fairy tale and...
He did this time, he fully censored it. It's just start.
Also, you gotta remember, people be like, well, you see, Miyazaki was indirectly contributed to the lolly boob. This guy is on record saying that Nausicaa has childbearing boobs. He literally said in interviews that she is a nice rat.
Yeah.
Not child phony.
Tim, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it.
Also, what is it? Somebody pointed out she's not a lolly, she's clearly an adult. Yeah, that's what I noticed too, because again, you gotta remember, what is it? I think it's because Lupin is old. There you go. Lupin's an old man.
I had to check the date, but it looks like it's highly likely that Hideo Azuma's work would have appeared before Miyazaki's Castle of Cagliostro.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to check exact dates, but it seems like his work would still probably be more closer to like the start of it. This is also how I find out that he died a couple years ago. Died in 2019. So, rip to a king, I guess.
Girly aesthetic. Hell, even the term lolicon or Lolita wasn't even used to describe fetish or inappropriate content. It was mainly used to
What did you even say?
Yeah.
What did you even say?
I'm pretty sure he was saying lolicon, and I don't know why he censored it.
Kind of character trope. And that's what I mean by there's no clear answer as to why Japan continues to make lollies, because there's a lot of things that intersect with the idea of it. Some people would say, oh, it's because it's a genre by sick Japanese men for other sick Japanese men. But there were women in these spaces making these kinds of stories for men at doujin events. Others would say, oh, it's because this trope and genre has always been problematic. But at the same time, like I said, most, if not all, early lolicon stories were purely non-erotic.
They just factually weren't, by the way. Like, there's so much cope here, and you can, again, this is the same guy that said, oh, people are going to call me a dirty centrist. Every time you come up with a reason it exists, it always relates to, but men are gross. And you
exactly. Not only that, but like, you're like, well, they made it for men. What if they just made it for other women too? Because for some reason, people think it all revolves around the dirty man. It's like, no.
Yeah.
I like the moe genre, and I like the eroge art style because I like it. Yeah, there's probably some guy in Japan who jacks off to it, but I like it because it makes me happy, and that's all that matters, you filthy casual.
Exactly.
And platonic. That said, the inverse is also true. While the lolly trope and genre did start with the simple fact that some people found these characters super cute
and
endearing in a completely platonic way, doesn't mean you can ignore the many instances where these kinds of characters were put into really inappropriate positions just because the creators could. For example, one of the earliest lolicon anime was the creatively named Lolita anime in the 1980s. And in it are things I can't even mention on YouTube if I still want to have my channel by the
Yuri BDSM and lolicon characters. Like, what? I can't mention it if I want my video to stay on YouTube. It just says hentai, Yuri, BDSM, and lolicon.
Man, I guess Yuri's forbidden. Yuri's forbidden in the YouTube censor algorithm.
Which one of these specifically do you think is going to get you censored? Do you think it's BDSM?
Like, this guy thinks like most of his audience just does not read. And maybe they don't, but like all of this stuff is so vanilla even to regular anime fans.
Yeah. This is vanilla to like most people in general. They'd be like, that's what I thought when you said like stuff you couldn't describe. I thought you'd be like, you know, some Jigsaw type shit, you know?
I can't even mention the term horror and drama.
end of this video. And I tried to find any reason that the creators could have made this anime. Maybe it was a commission piece for a particularly sick individual. Maybe it was just some weird circle jerk material for the studio themselves. And I couldn't
That's not how that works.
It really does seem like
This
they made it.
This guy. That's not how that works. Some people just do it because they can. The guy who made Boku no Pico just did it just because he could.
Yeah.
Also, if you know about artists, because a lot of these people for some reason be like, I love anime, but like I don't, but like artists are degenerates. It's like, if you know even like the slightest bit about art, when someone is drawing something that is supposedly erotic, yeah, they might, but most of the time they're just calculating how many mistakes they made in a flat second. Be like, I drew the arm wrong, I drew the boobs wrong, he looks weird, his penis looks weird. Man, I can't you guys like this. Please don't talk to me again. Like, these people just all, like, people be like, artists are just such degenerates. You're making more degenerate statements than the actual artist.
You know what's interesting is I think I've seen this girl before.
What? Let me see.
So here, I'll put it on screen so chat can see it. And then I will pass it over to you as well. This is the cover that shows up when you search Lolita anime. Specifically the one he cited, Lolita anime 1984.
Oh, this is so cute. I think I have seen this girl.
I'm not... I don't know, it doesn't look that weird to me, overall.
I mean, it's older anime style. It's really... It's basic. Like, it's cute in the sense of, like, the time period, and it's like... Okay, there's a lot of weird things that came out back then. They had to get around censorship with penises by just making tentacle hentai.
I'm not sure I would have called it an anime. It's sort of more like an OVA because it's only 6 episodes. Each episode was 30 minutes, except the 6th, which was an hour long.
This has a name, but I can't read it. Something Sean. No, Iru.
Is that the same guy? It is possible the guy that directed this currently works for Falcom on video games. I would need to search and make sure it's the same guy. Because I don't know how common the name Tsunuyuki Miyamoto?
Okay, so it was Koneko. I'm still trying to learn to read. I'm like, is that Koneko? Is that Neko? Oh my gosh.
I would have to see if I can look more into him. Because it doesn't link him anywhere. I have to just search the names. It's possible the people just straight disappeared.
People just don't realize at this point. It's like, dude, the reason why something, this, that, and the other is just, it's nerd culture. And you may not like it. I have a bunch of things in nerd culture I don't like. But, like, I don't care. I just don't read it. Fucking read Pupa earlier.
Lolita anime has a sort of quote-unquote record as the very first erotic original video animation that include Yuri.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
An alternative name for it was Wonder Magazine Series. Interesting. This is far more interesting than his video, by the way.
I mean, listen, one of the very first anime is likely some guy who was playing around with samurai sticks and stuff like that, from what I remember in the museum.
By the way, the company that produced it was called Wonder Kids.
They were definitely some wonderful kids.
So the writers, I can't find any like links for the writers themselves, but one of the girls that was in it would go on to be a voice in Pretty Cure or Precure.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
She was also apparently a voice in Parappa the Rapper.
It's so...
She was in
The Pretty
Battleship
Cure one-
Yamato?
No, that makes sense. A lot of voice actors kind of just did what they wanted and just like they just did what they wanted. And then if it was like too risque, they just hid under a pseudonym because last thing you want to bring up in the family event is, hey, so I heard you voiced in porn. How did that feel?
She was one character in a early version of Sailor Moon. She was a character in Star Twinkle Precure. She was in 2 different versions of Space Battleship Yamato. I'm skipping over a bunch of ones that I don't recognize in the middle. And she was a character in the original run of Detective Conan.
Ooh. Question, did you pass away recently? Because there was literally a Detective Conan VA that just passed away recently.
Nope, she's still alive, and she is 73 years old.
Dang, pretty good.
She's still kicking it, as far as I can tell. It says she's still active in the space, but the last thing she's credited for is in 2010s. Oh, no, never mind. She was a voice in World of Final Fantasy, which was a 2016 video game. She voices for anime movies. She was in 2023's City Hunter Angel Dust.
Oh, I did hear like kind of like a short revival of City Hunter.
Yeah, she is in there was a 2019 movie for it and a 2023 movie for it, and she was Psycho Nogami.
Psycho no.
She's still kicking it. The other 3 people credited as just random male characters called Salaryman. She seems to have voiced basically every female character in the series. Or at least she's the only one credited with voicing any of the female characters.
Was it?
But this is one of those things that'd be interesting, like, if you actually dived into this, but...
Oh, very, very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Oh, did you find her?
Oh, yeah. What is it? She was also in... Seems to be kind of like an anthology. She was in the Galactic Railroad. Or Galactic... What is it? The movie The Galactic Railway is a letter.
City Hunter to Lolly Pipeline confirmed. Yeah, it's on the stars list here. It's this first lady at the start, Yoko Asagami. So if you want to look up what she was in, it's this first lady. I can't find like any actual pictures of the anime though. I don't know where I would go to even begin to find it. It's so old.
About 2025 with Super Robot Wars Y. She was in the Pokemon anime. Was it Poketoon, the Pokemon cartoon animation? She does definitely a lot of older women, but obviously that's just how it is in the industry.
Yeah. It looks like it would be difficult for me to even begin finding it.
Listen, not all careers are super blatant. People just don't realize that. Apparently, she was definitely in Galaxy Express 39. That's a classic. Galaxy 39, the movie. Everybody loves our girl.
Anyways, I'm going to continue.
We got on a tangent and found someone way better and more educated.
Also, thank you, Internet Zen. As a rusty artist, I can confirm Kendra's point about artists being hypercritical. I had to brute force myself to paint my orcs and stop staring at the unpainted models. Art paralysis is a thing.
Yes.
things I can't even mention on YouTube if I still want to have my channel by the end of this video.
And I tried to find any reason that the creators could have made this anime. Maybe it was a commission piece for a particularly sick individual. Maybe it was just some weird circle jerk material for the studio themselves. And I couldn't really find anything. It really does seem like they made it purely because they could, and so that they could sell it to the weird otakus that would buy it.
I personally think that the lolicon genre and its usage just comes down to how we as an audience, and sometimes as creators, interact with fiction. And this actually has been talked about in Japan before, in a book called The Ethics of Affect by Patrick Galbraith, who is another accredited researcher who
That's a white guy.
Yeah.
That's just straight up a white guy.
It's always just a random white guy.
Japanese pop culture. What is it with white people and wanting to research Japan? I have no clue. But in the book, he interviews legal expert Shinichiro Hirata asking about the ethics in regards to consuming very controversial media tropes like lollies. TLDR, because Hirata's opinion about this spans multiple pages, and also because I'm officially unk status and sitting down to edit for like 3 hours is starting to hurt me. But Hirata basically says that there's something called
Don't edit for 3 hours?
Yeah. Take a break or something. I don't fucking know, man.
Like you're shaming the otaku for being the filthy otaku. You know, one of the things filthy otaku do, not leave their house or exercise. It looks like you feel it if it fit the bill, bro.
Of moe and the responsibility of the otaku, which in dumb speak means that even though these things are fictional and shouldn't be treated as a reflection of the people both making and consuming it, doesn't mean that it's not above criticism. Hirata is basically saying, yeah, you shouldn't outright ban it because that's just going to be a lot more legal and social problems than it's worth, but fuck, you gotta be willing to criticize what you watch. He stresses that just because it's not real doesn't mean that it can't have real life consequences. You have to face and acknowledge the really uncomfortable parts of the media you consume to make sure you don't just go overboard. And I personally subscribe to this. As a longtime anime nerd and watcher of anything Japanese, you kinda learn to tune out the really weird parts of the medium. Just because
No, you don't. That's the best part of them.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure watching watching a J-drama of just a guy being pregnant is weirder than any lolly I will ever see, because that's a real person, dude. What was that? I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Wait. I'm sorry, I'm sorry about getting on that. I'm just like, I was just so caught off guard. Like, what? Also, we're not finger waving every single time we see a problematic scene in anime, especially something like Kill la Kill that's a coming of age story. Get this, coming of age stories are messy and hypersexual. That's how it's supposed to be.
I give a free pass to some tropes and genres in anime and manga doesn't mean that I don't question how they can look sometimes. I firmly believe that as time goes on, we need to reevaluate how specific tropes and genres are portrayed. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely can understand why some people who aren't familiar with anime or manga can be weirded out by shows that look like this. And I'm of the personal belief that there is a lot to criticize of the lolly trope, especially when we know when some people have used it to hide a specific audience. But between the 50 years of artists, moral panics, internet discourse, and enough academic papers to make me question whether it was going to be even worth making this video, I just realized that the whole lolly trope exists because it can. A cute little girl character is just a simple thing that everyone can get behind. That even the people who are most ardently against the trope have consumed it before. It's just the horrible fact that some people have chosen to take advantage of that in the worst way possible. And while I can't give you an
So the problem with statements like that is nobody knows what the fuck you mean, unless they already agree with you. So you saying that and showing the Lolita anime thing, I don't know what you're trying to say.
Not only that, you can even use like a more recent example. If you're going to use anything, might as well just use Shoujo Ramune.
Answer more satisfying than that, I can give you context.
And context is the closest thing we're ever gonna get sometimes.
Chat, if you really want to watch them, their videos, Muxedo Task, I'm required to say this. If you want to watch more of their content, it's on this channel.
I think you would do yourself a disservice.
But Kinders, what did you think about him?
This video was bad because he's trying to sound smart, and if you're not paying attention, you think he had a point until you think for more than 5 seconds, being like, wait a minute. Why would I think critically about things I like about people, especially for people that like don't like me anyway? Because that's what these people always do. That's what this guy is clearly. He's like trying to do the whole thing of, well, you see, I'm so weird. And I know there's other people that are like weirded out by me, so I should be responsible as the weird individual to be palatable to the non-weird people. Like, screw that! Why would I do that?
Exactly.
Like, I did that before, and I didn't even know what anime was. Once I discovered anime, I was like, screw all you guys.
Yeah. But chat, that was a video.
In order for there to be a we, there has to be a me.
Yeah. He's free to like say whatever he wants, I guess, but I feel like he's just extremely poorly researched and kind of just winging it. I feel like he gets a lot wrong.
Poorly researched and trying to be like projection. Definitely just like a whole lot of projection in my.
Yeah. I did not expect it to go on this long at all. But, I think me and Kinder's got a lot of our emotions out.
Unfortunately, even though we want to do 2 videos, some of these people's opinions are so bad that unfortunately I'm going to ramble, and Mizu has to suffer through that.
Exactly. But chat, I'm gonna pass y'all away. Final thoughts. I think it's badly researched, and I think he's trying to pretend like he's neutral, but he's not even close.
Yeah.
How big do you think his Blue Archive Dojin favorite list is? There are some parts in it where I'm like, I feel like you like this content and you're pretending you don't.
It's like the people that watch My Dress Up Darling. It's like, I consume what I believe is CSAM critically, and it's like, you like the fact that she's pretty and cute, guys. Yeah, you may not like her boobs out, but guess what? That's just cosplay. That's just cosplay, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Always trying to police other people and be like, police yourself. Police yourself. Go do it. Go actually monitor your own stuff, bro. I'm not gonna monitor my stuff because of you. Go away.
But night chat. We'll see you guys later. Y'all have a good one.